What's up, Blade fam? So it's been a little while. We got hit by a nice snowstorm, couple of days straight with snow, so I took the opportunity to take 10 days off from skating. Got a nice recovery in and whatnot. Prior to that, I was lucky enough to meet Lawrence from Back to Blading. He was in Denver for the time being, and yeah, we got to meet up, skate with him for a little bit, talk about a few ideas and whatnot. So if you guys haven't already and you guys are coming back to blading and haven't discovered Lawrence over at Back to Blading, he has a great channel. He covers different topics like gear talk, he skates different types of skates. He's very intellectual when it comes to knowing how skates ride, how they're put together, the manufacturing process. So if you guys want to, go ahead and check that guy out. Back to Blading, Lawrence, awesome guy. All right, so what are we gonna do today? Today we're going to be learning how to do a back Fahrvergnugen. If you guys haven't already learned how to do a front side Fahrvergnugen, I have done a tutorial on that. The link will be below in the description. A back Fahrvergnugen is very similar to a back side, excluding for the front foot or the leading foot of the grind being in a torqued position. Alright guys, so let's get into it. We're going to be learning the backside Fahrvergnugen. So before we get into actually doing the trick, let's just look at what it looks like. So I had mentioned before how it looks like a backside. A backside Fahrvergnugen is exactly what it means. Your back side will be facing the obstacle that you're grinding. The trick looks like this. Notice my hand positioning. This will really help you find balance in the trick. Compared to doing it on the front side Fahrvergnugen, people find this trick easier because you're on your obstacle in a way that you can see your out. You know, it's right there, so your hands are going to be dropping into the out. Make sure you have a lot of emphasis on that front leading foot so you can practice just holding your boot down. I'm right now in the process of learning how to do switch boot tricks, so every evening I am trying to hold my left boot down so I can build the strength to push the shell down and get into that groove really nicely on my switch boot. Give that a couple runs, get associated with the trick. Now let's get the jump. So as I approach this, I shift my right foot forward. This is the leading foot in the grind, and by doing that, I'm kind of preset to get into the grind. If I have my right foot behind me, when I jump, I have to now bring it in front of me. So it's kind of a little shortcut to have the leading foot in whatever grind you're doing be leading while you're rolling. So get associated with it. You're gonna pop and hold. Remember to have those hands. You're gonna throw your hands up. I had an awesome conversation with Frank Stoner a couple weekends ago, and he gave me gold. He told me you have to skate and jump in a way, or in a similar way, of how rock climbers climb walls. Rock climbers hold the wall, but use their legs to continue them up, or push them up. For rollerblading, we're the opposite. I've been using my legs primarily as my means of getting me into the obstacle. Frank broke it down for me in a way of throwing your hands up, so that way you're pulling yourself into the trick. So notice, I'm jumping up and walking in. I stare down my obstacle. Again, I'm one of those old school guys. I prefer this trick sat. Now, if you're doing switch ups out of it, or you're planning to rotate or do a rotation out of that trick, you might want to be a little higher up, more like this. All personal preference. Now, the out is a matter of if you want to come out forward, you can continue with your momentum, you're grinding along, and you pop out. If you want to come out fakie. Remember to get that nice snap and rotation in your hips. I'll give you a couple examples of outs here on this down ledge. Another big thing to remember when practicing this trick is to wax your obstacle, or make sure it's at least sliding well. Because this trick goes against the groove of the boot, you're kind of pushing into it. So you have to have that downward pressure and a forward pressure to get that trick sliding. So after you practice a couple stalls, whether you're on a ledge or rolling up onto a quarter pipe, I personally learned this trick on quarter pipes, so I'm gonna teach it that way. As you come up on a quarter pipe, again, you're gonna lead with your right foot or your left foot, or you can really capitalize on skating the vert by bringing your feet together. If you notice, some of the skaters like Bobby Spazov, U2Go2, they're skating with their feet parallel together as they're coming up a lot of things or hitting transitions. And what that does is it maximizes your balance and your speed and not skating in a staggered stance. I'll go over that more, but if you're coming up onto a quarter pipe, perhaps you'd like to bring your feet together, boost up. So when I hit a quarter pipe, as I'm entering into the transition, I think toe, heel, and that puts you all the way up. It really creates a combustion for you to get up onto the quarter pipe. You're gonna carve that angle, get that back torque foot in there, and ride the line. I'm gonna do 2 stalls, and then I'll come back and grind it. Now that we've got it on the ledge, the coping, we've done it down a down ledge, we're ready to take it to a rail. Now I've had a lot of people want me to do a video on rails, and that's in the making. For now, this is gonna be just a quick breakdown of how I visualize rails. See that right there? Now you OGs know that this is Mind Game. It's just their logo and M, and that's all it really is. But to me, I was sitting down one day thinking, I was at a rail, I was kind of struggling with finding the right place to jump. And I just kind of like looked at my arm, and I looked at the rail, and a light went off. Let's go to the rail. So when I skate rails, I try to visualize a pyramid structure on the rail. So if I had this, you would see this line come down here and this line come down here. This is the point where I jump straight up and land. So it's very similar to visualizing the Mind Game M or a pyramid. As you're coming up, you're just coming up, you're seeing that, you're popping to the top, centered over the rail, landing on top of it. Remember your hands and to keep centered. Ride that trick all the way down. Enjoy the ride, right? Fahrvergnugen. All right, let's get it. All right, guys, so that's gonna sum up today's tutorial. I had a lot of fun doing this one. That intro disaster back farf. I'm gonna leave at the end of my video all the outtakes and attempts to show you guys that I'm human too. You know, I struggle, I'm learning, I have to go through a curve or a process. There's times where I just want to throw it in, and that's okay. You know, you got to be able to gauge whether you're learning or repeating the same mistakes over and over. Take a break. Remember to think about what you're doing, to enjoy the process. You know, all of us struggle with different types of tricks. For some of us, it's soul grinds or top sides, boot tricks. I think a lot of this can be learned outside of the skate park and just practicing at home. Getting that mobility in your ankles, especially when it comes to boot tricks, will help. Thanks again for all of the love and support. Till next time, guys, keep the blade alive. Aloha.